beer, rum, and rock and roll. Saving rock, one conversation at a time. With Randy Legault and Beau Shiminsky.
Well, you are no Gordon Sumner, my friend, a.k.a. Sting.
What the fuck, dude? I mean, just close your eyes and imagine. So close. I think it's the rum talking, Randy.
Oh, dude. Okay, if you haven't guessed by now, it's all about the 80s on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I came prepared with footwear to celebrate this special show we got, Randy.
Yeah.
Nice little zebra print.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, custom made from Vans. I like it.
You know, people are going to think this is bullshit and it's set up before, but it was not. I just happened to be wearing my Paul Stanleys.
Yeah, I love it.
The old Paul Stanley Pumas. So that was weird.
I noticed them as soon as you walked in. I go, oh, this is right on par. For
Perfect.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I've got my Headbangers Ball MTV t-shirt on. Now, people probably think, oh, Randy knew he was going to do a show about MTV, so that's why he got the t-shirt. No. I got about 300 of these fucking t-shirts, and I just wait for the right moment to pull them out.
Hey, you never know when you need the right tee.
That's
right?
exactly right.
Well, as we noticed at the start of the show, I'm
Yes.
celebrating another 80s
That's a
band
good
on
one.
my chest today. Yeah.
That would have been funny if I wore my police shirt. That would have been too much.
That would have been weird.
Okay, man, before we dive right into it, we're going to be reviewing this documentary, I Want My MTV. I want to read some comments about the last episode on the top 11 guitarists.
On the Beer, Rum, and Rock and Roll show. Okay,
Absolutely,
gotcha.
yeah. Our buddy Lee Schnellback,
Yeah, okay.
he says, love, love, love Queen, but I hear you, Randy, with the Brian May. I'm like, yes. But he goes, great. Now I'm going to have Dragon Attack in my head all day.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
man.
it's not.
That's a good thing.
Exactly. And he goes, Reed can sure rip. Loved his riffs after naming the artist. Nice touch. So nice comment from Lee.
Great.
Yeah. Anthony Tremblett. Agree for the most part, but one thing kind of got me. No one mentioned Tony Iommi at all. Pretty much the godfather of metal, but to each his own. But Tony kicks ass. Take him every day over Angus. And I thought about him. We're doing a trilogy. Guitarists, riffs, and solos.
Right.
Well, Tony's going to show up in riffs. Don't you worry.
You think? And there may be a Young that shows up in the riffs too.
Yeah, there might be. Well, that would be a Malcolm probably.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
Another one.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
See? But that's okay, man. Just,
Yeah.
just let it happen.
Young,
just let it be. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. But good call. I mean, Tony Iommi kicks ass, obviously.
It's so hard, man. Okay.
Who do you drop off the list to put Tony in? I mean,
there's so many.
There's so many.
It's so hard. So
Exactly. James Burley. Awesome show, guys. Great topic. So thanks, James, for that one. Malls and Me. No Dave Mustaine?
Yeah.
That's a guy that I thought about. He was right there. I just couldn't wedge him in because he's so wicked.
You know, it's fun when you make a list too, you're also looking at filling it with different styles. At least I was thinking that too.
Yes.
And that's why it's so diverse. And
Yes.
so I get it, man.
That's why I wanted him in.
I get it. My second
Right?
list might have him, and they're all just as good.
Right.
Except maybe the top 5. You know, that's where it gets crazy.
You're absolutely right. I was thinking the same thing. Well, I need a thrash guy in there. Mustaine's the fucking man. But
Yeah, and you do that naturally
Yeah.
anyways when you're putting it going, okay, this another guy because I like him for this, you know,
No doubt,
and
man.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Rick Roberts says, thanks for acknowledging Tom Scholz. Underrated and mostly forgotten, it seems.
Yeah.
But every single song is timeless. Hear, hear.
Here.
Yeah. Jason Schumann was sickened by some choices
Okay.
and delighted by others.
Did he elaborate on the what was
He
what?
put a smiley face.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's all pretty subjective, obviously.
It is.
No real mentions of Frank Zappa, who's at least number 2 in my book. And he is. To me, he's like Prince, though. He's so good at a vast array of things. He doesn't pop out when I think of guitar players, but he's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
There's no question. And that's another thing about what makes this instrument so special too, was that it's mainly 6 strings, wood and wire situation. And you got all these styles and all these different cats. So if you're sitting there learning to play this instrument, you know, and thinking, how am I going to carve out a space for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This dialogue right here tells you that there's always a place, because if you can find your little moment, man, people are going to love it.
And man, Frank, nobody sounds like that. You know, in 2 notes, who's playing that fucking solo. Because it's just bananas.
Bananas. But that's right. Okay, so we're looking at the top 10. Okay, I need a bananas type of guy in there. So mine was, you know, Steve Vai, because he's fucking bananas.
And
you know what I mean?
He played for Frank, so
and
you were close.
He's so connected. Exactly. So, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Jerry Griffiths. Jerry Griffiths. I would have pushed Prince to number 10 and made that cool dude from Smash LA number 11.
All right.
Reed, obviously. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Sure.
Also, no Dave Mustaine. Again, Dave getting the nod. Or Bonamassa. Surprising, but otherwise very good list. Again. Yeah, those guys are wicked. Bonamassa's incredible.
Sure.
No denying it. Mike Thiel posted his list, and the guys that popped out that we didn't mention were Jerry Cantrell, who I love too, Jake E. Lee, Matthias Jabs from Scorpion, so I also think is awesome, and Frank again, and Schenker. Ron Poach.
Bark, just before you go on, I just right in my head just popped Bark at the Moon, and how that record is...
That's a good record.
Another great guitar player that really shone on that record with Ozzy.
Yeah.
And I still know those notes and riffs.
And Ultimate Sin was great too, man. He did the 2. And,
sure.
Ron Poach, I believe you pronounce it, Ron Poach. Randy Rhoads will always be number 1. Number 2, close enough.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
In his list, George Lynch, Jake E. Lee again, Steve Lukather from Toto, who is just amazing, right? James Burley, put Keith in there.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a Stones fan, obviously.
Sure. I mean, if we should have another one of the other 2 you have.
Yeah.
How about just groove and I don't know, just
badassery.
Badassery. That's another one for sure.
And he had Chuck Berry in there, who of course is a pioneer and just incredible. He should be in there just for the Johnny B. Good riff alone. Sure. Lynch again, Jake E. Lee again. So those 2 guys were really popping up.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at the Jake E. Lee.
Yeah.
It's
well, Lynch. You know, when Randy Rhoads is all the buzz on Sunset, Lynch was the guy they were looking at, not him.
I knew that.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me because Dawkins was just,
I know,
at the very bottom of the bin for me. Like,
I powered through Don Dawkins because the music I like, I just didn't love Don. But man, George is undeniable on those records.
Sure,
like,
he is, but it's just so hard to hear him.
Man.
Yeah. Anyways.
But anyway, I hear you though.
Yeah.
And he had Kim Mitchell on there, who is an underrated guitar player. I just don't know. I don't know about top 10, but again, subjective and to each his own, right?
Top 10 in Canada.
Top 10 in Canada. Top 10 Canadian guitarists.
For sure.
Rick Emmett would be in there too.
Oh, yeah. And Lifeson, and let's see who else. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for the comments. That's all I have to say about
great.
that. Love the feedback. Keep it coming, man.
More, please.
That's what makes it fun. No right or wrong. It hits everybody's ears differently, and that's how it works.
Right.
I'll still probably make fun of you if you're really out to lunch, but...
I expected, Randy.
Get a helmet. Life sucks. Get a helmet.
I got thick skin.
Yeah, thicken that skin up. Okay, man.
All right.
The documentary, I Want My MTV. Here's your synopsis. Are you ready?
Ready, brother.
This special charts the rise of a cultural phenomenon that came to define a generation. What started during the nascent days of cable television as a scrappy, playful music video lineup rapidly evolved into a reflection of American youth culture. I Want My MTV weaves together exclusive interviews with the network's founders and VJs, artists, and journalists, along with rarely seen archival footage and outtakes. Interview subjects include Sting, Pat Benatar, Billy Idol, Annie Lennox, Nancy Wilson, and many more. So that's the gist.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, dude. You watched it. I watched it. What'd you think?
Before I get into this, I just want to say that MTV played no significant role for me.
Oh, we're going to be the opposite. This is what's interesting. Yeah.
So, and I'm going to explain that right now, is that I got into the Maiden and then immediately evolved to punk. And at that point, we were playing, doing our thing, and nobody had money. Nobody had cable. Nobody had MTV.
Right.
The first time I saw it was camping, and then we were in the middle of nowhere, but they had a dish somewhere.
You need a dish.
Right.
In Canada, nobody got it unless you had a dish.
Right.
And one of those big fuckers as big as this
That's
room.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and they're playing Sister Christian or something
Yeah.
like that. And I mean, Night Ranger, I'll take that over Cyndi Lauper, fuck for sure, right? But anyways,
Right.
this is what I'm seeing for
Yeah.
a weekend. And then I wouldn't see it again for another year or two, right?
They're not representing punk on MTV.
Not only that, but it just wasn't our thing. We weren't
Right.
sitting there in front of a box.
Fair
You know what I
enough.
mean? We were making noise or getting high or doing
You're
whatever
doing it.
we were doing. Yeah, exactly. So MTV played no significant role at all to me.
Right. That's
but
interesting.
I knew it existed
Of course.
for sure.
Yeah.
And, half the time, you'd catch something somewhere and you go, fuck, that's cool, or whatever.
Right.
That kind of thing. So
Right.
just on the onset, I wasn't their demo, and I didn't know many
Right.
people that had it, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it.
So you're speaking of music videos in general, I'm assuming, not just MTV. Like you're not
Well, yeah, because that's
Yeah.
where you saw music videos, right? And
well, not in Canada, and mostly you didn't, right? It was
well, no, but people had it. They got MTV, and
Yeah.
they watched music
very
videos.
few people I knew had MTV though.
Right.
And it was other avenues that would show music videos. I'm just saying,
Sure.
I'm assuming music videos in general were kind of off the radar for you. is all I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we catch the odd one,
Right.
with New Music Magazine, stuff like
Exactly,
that. And,
yeah.
you catch that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
But-
cool.
Okay, so this is where I'm coming
You're
from.
painting a picture.
This
I got
is where
it.
I'm coming from.
I
right?
got it. I got it.
Okay, but watching the film, okay, first I have to say, I had no idea about any of these guys that are involved in the creation of MTV, right?
Right.
I didn't know Michael Nesmith of the Monkees was involved
Right.
at the very early stages.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the Monkees, and I thought he was probably one of the cooler dudes in the probably like the quirkiest, funniest guy besides Mickey
Right.
in the group, with
Right.
his little toque and all that. Look Canadian almost, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of, oh, that's fucking cool. Okay, I'm
Right.
I'm just getting in. And this is right off the hop into the dock, right? So I'm going, okay, this is cute, this is fun and
Right.
whatever. And just, being reminded how fucking shitty the 80s looked. Because it was just watching it was like bringing you back,
Yes, it was. Yeah.
right? And that kind of experience and what you were around at the time. And it's memory lane, right? Kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Which is really cool about
And
this
it's
stuff.
fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's super fun. Michael Nesmith, the Monkees, and
Yeah.
the trip back in the 80s.
Right.
I'm having a good time, It's all good.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, by the way. Yeah.
No. And I'm reminded how hot Olivia Newton-John is. You know what I mean? When they show the videos of Xanadu, it's like, yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Let's get physical.
I think it's burned in my brain, you know what I mean? So it was,
Her working out there. Yeah.
yeah, it was the Xanadu video, and she
Yeah, yeah.
looks great, right?
But that Let's Get Physical video was high rotation.
Hi, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, it was just this mixed bag, and I love the fact that it was that. And I'm just going to touch on a couple
Sure.
of things that were just really cool for me in this doc. The interesting bag of first employees, like they were weird guys from radio or this or that
Yep.
didn't seem like they fit into this, what we'd call a vibrant, groundbreaking, youth-focused channel, right? You know what I mean?
Well, a couple weren't that cool.
No.
A couple were.
Yeah.
But the one guy, Alan Hunter, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He's a nerd. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did he get the gig?
Right.
Sorry, Alan. Nothing.
Are you
against
talking
Alan.
the VJs?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We're
Sorry.
getting to the VJs.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not talking
I'm
VJs.
talking about the guys that were part of the technical building blocks of this thing.
Behind
right?
the scenes dudes. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
that built
all right.
this thing up, right?
Right, okay,
We'll
fair
get
enough.
to the VJs.
We'll
Yeah,
get
we
there.
will. Oh, dude. But
know,
one cool guy is John Lack, who really made this happen.
Right.
He would have been a great guy to party with in the 80s. I get that sense watching him.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy fucking partied.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, bravo, I'm
Yeah.
loving this, right? And there's just great things. There's great things about MTV on the brand side of things where you get to hear these stories, right?
Yeah.
How they came up with that logo and how they didn't just pick one, they picked 100, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, and kept it fresh. And they really focused on a youth culture, and it really gets into the minutia
Yeah.
of that cool stuff, which I'm a sucker for. I work in advertising,
Right.
and stuff. So these are the things that I'm gravitating on. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they talked to the chick who designed it and all that stuff, right?
You totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how they worked, and they had
Yeah.
to come in with a fresh idea every day, and
Yeah.
you know, this kind of vibe.
And that moon landing thing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The use of the
Like-
free, because they had no money.
Who thought that was free? I couldn't believe that.
Public domain, man.
Right.
Yes.
What
you
a
can-
great idea.
Yeah.
But again, there's no pre-thought. They're winging this shit.
I quote, let's take man's greatest moment and rip it off.
Yeah.
That's so fucking rock and roll.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
So the whole vibe
Yeah.
of this thing, as you watch this doc, you're going, oh, fuck, this thing's going to be fucking great. And then the VJs come in,
Yeah.
to your point, Randy. What?
Well, Alan Hunter is not cool.
No.
I'm like, how did he get that job? And I know Martha Quinn's cute and nice and everything,
Yeah.
but she's not really cool either. Mark Goodman's cool.
Sure.
Jackson was cool.
Yeah.
Like three. Like it was kind of a split.
But again, it goes back to this. Again, they had it scripted,
Mm-hmm.
and when they got rid of all that, and they explained that transition beautifully, because that's what made it fun, you know. And maybe they could have done something with Alan that way, you know, like his audition tapes or whatever.
But nobody knew what was going to become at that point. They had no fucking idea.
They didn't,
It
but
was nothing.
But it looked like they had some really cool ideas going.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I mean, the fact that the first song they came out with, you know,
The Buggles.
Yeah.
The first video they played, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
yeah, the first song.
Video
they,
killed the
they
radio
played.
star.
Yeah. And it is a great song.
That's brilliant too, right?
It super is. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, and it just goes to show, you know, that there was some fun thought put to this, and you know, once they loosened up and things
Yeah.
obviously evolved, and things grow and take time. But what was cool was getting the artists to create their videos, and some would do it
Right.
with a lot of artistic integrity and have some fun with it. And and it just really showed the personalities of the band, and they really showed, and it became this whole new experience for you to experience the band
Yeah.
in their way and what they wanted to present to you. And sometimes it was terrible,
Yeah.
and sometimes it was great. But
Yeah.
this whole creativity around it, there was always that, it seemed, as you watch this doc.
Yeah.
You get a sense that that was it. And creative thinking when it got to, as we opened the show with this whole campaign about getting the kids to call the cable
Right.
companies
Yeah.
to get their MTV. I want my MTV. And there was ads and stuff with the police and with Mick Jagger.
Well,
And
well, that was the thing. That guy, that executive, talked Mick Jagger into saying that on camera. That was it. That's what broke the station.
was that the very first?
Very first.
one?
Yeah. He
Okay.
kind of knew Mick. He goes, "You want me to what?" Okay. How much? He did it for free.
Yeah.
He did it for $1.
Yeah,
he gave him
$1.
$1.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
Mick Jagger says it, so Mick's at the top of that fucking pyramid.
Yeah, yeah.
He does it, then everybody followed in line. That's what made the channel unbelievable.
Not only that the artists were doing it, but that they got the kids
Well, that's right.
to phone the cable companies. And I just got a little story that I just love about this. They're talking about how it was tough to get cable companies to take on a video channel where a bunch of 23-year-old
Right.
people come in pitching half-naked women dancing around in a Rod Stewart video. It was not going to go over in Midwestern Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like, they knew
Right.
this, right?
Right.
And it was a struggle. But if all these kids start calling the cable companies going, we're going to give you money
Right.
to put this channel on, and they're getting inundated
Yeah.
with calls.
That campaign
was-
was unreal.
It was unbelievable.
Because they went a couple of years. Crickets.
Yeah.
You couldn't get MTV in Manhattan at the beginning. It was like, what? Like they were nothing
Yeah.
until that campaign.
Yeah.
They were just scraping it.
No one knew it existed, and no one
Exactly.
had that stuff, right? Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. You know, and the other thing that caught me was this whole black controversy with Rick James, because I didn't
Right.
know, I didn't even experience it, because again, I never watched it.
Yeah.
But that one was interesting, and you have
Yeah.
to look at all that, you know, and see where that's heading. But
That David Bowie snippet was very telling.
right.
You have to
Right.
just watch it.
Yeah,
He
but that's
he
right.
calls him out. He calls Mark Goodman out on their policies. And
And that's
how do you define rock and roll is basically what we're talking about here.
and this whole
right?
thing, artists being themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And letting them do that, you know,
Yeah.
whether they're creating their videos, which are questionable half the time too, right? Like,
That's right.
but you have to let them be them. You know what I mean?
Who's the gatekeeper, right? I mean, that's a powerful position to be in, right? You can make or break. somebody's career when they got popular. I mean,
At the time, at the start, though, is if you had a video, you were become a Devo. This is Devo.
some of those videos. Oh
Devo,
my God.
they made so many, and they had so many to play that they were in high rotation. You know what I mean?
Like Whip It, it's charming and everything, but there's just no money in it, and that's all they could do. And it's awesome, right? When you see it, there's just no dough.
No one had money, and the record labels weren't paying for it. You know,
No.
that whole
Because they
deal.
thought it wasn't going to work.
Right. So it's like, what you want to
what?
promote our artists, but
Right.
you know, and I see both sides of that argument too. It's like,
Right.
yeah, the video company's going, or the station going, you pay for the video, we'll support your artist, you know, right? But the record labels at that time were like, no, we're not paying for anything. You know what
changed.
I mean? If you want a video, you pay for it.
Oh boy, did that change.
Yeah, did it ever?
Yeah.
It's cool though, right?
I think it's cool that you're coming at it from a completely different angle than I am. That's what's cool to me, just to listen to you talk about it. Like, because I came from a completely different perspective.
Let's go.
Because I was all over it.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, MTV itself was hard to see. So I told the story before on the show where I was going to college and they had it playing in the lounge, the school lounge.
Okay.
And I'd be fucking cutting classes,
Really?
watching video. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got to sit through Culture Club and Cyndi Lauper. Well, the Scorpions are coming up and Van Halen's coming up. So it was like a drug. Oh, just one more video. Just one more.
Right.
And yeah, like we said before, you had to have the big dish, you know, on the farm or in a public thing like the college or whatever. Most people did not have a fucking huge dish in their backyard.
Oh yeah.
This did not happen. But I managed to see enough MTV to get the impact. But then there's Good Rockin' Tonight, new music, Friday night videos, and eventually Much Music. I couldn't see enough of this stuff. And my parents were early on with the Betamax.
But that was a better technology from what I understand anyways.
Oh,
you
by
know?
far.
Yeah.
But Sony wouldn't release the patent.
Right.
So it just
right.
snowballed into the VHS thing. But we had a Betamax, and I would record this stuff and just watch it over and over. Motley Crue, Looks to Kill. I bet you've seen it fucking 1,000 times.
Right.
Rewind, watch. Because for me, I think back when I was a kid, when I first saw Kiss on TV,
Right.
or at Paul Lynde's Halloween special or whatever it was, Kiss Meets the Phantom. In hindsight, why was MTV a tough sell? It's baffling to me because I'm vibrating in the living room watching Kiss move on TV. To me, this is a no-brainer. If I could watch a snippet of a Kiss concert or a Kiss video, I'd be all over that. But convincing old guys with money that this is going to fly, not easy. Pre-MTV, Don Kirshner's rock concert or Midnight Special, so I remember staying up late watching that stuff. Well, MTV is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like videos were just, to see your favorite band on TV, and a lot of those early videos were performance-based, let's say AC/DC. They're not creating a storyline and shit. It's just them live. Well, fuck, if I'm not seeing AC/DC live yet, or they come by once every year or two, I'm not riveted to that?
Yeah.
Of course I am.
Of course.
It was like a fucking drug, dude. Like I wouldn't go out. Friday night videos is on.
Right.
Like I could not get enough of this shit. And yes, you had to listen to a lot of shit to get to the rock stuff that I personally liked, but it was worth it, man.
See, that was the trick with new music. So it was on at like 11 o'clock on Friday.
The new music, yeah.
On 11 o'clock on Friday?
Yeah.
I was doing other things at 11 o'clock on Friday. Like I was, you know. Like,
well, it's the Betamax.
Yeah, right. We didn't have a Betamax, dude. We didn't have we had a TV.
We didn't have a TV.
But I don't think we watched much of it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
It was really...
It's cool, though, we're going at this.
It was so powerful, man. Like, I can't even describe it. And a lot of people, MTV was the death of this and that. Not for me, man. Because I tend to gravitate to artists who are a bit theatrical and take some pride in how they look and stuff.
It became so crazy. Like everybody was trying to outdo the other, you know, in one way or another, right? Like it got crazy and it was so visual, right?
Well, you're dropping $1 million on a video. Things are getting crazy, right?
Right. But also, you got this aesthetic now that you know has power. Right?
But man, if older guys in beards can make it on MTV What's your excuse?
Yeah.
Right?
But they're looking at all of it, right? Like they're looking for all of it. And that's cool. And that's what makes it so diverse. And I love that.
I had no problem with it, man.
Yeah.
When I hear the words MTV, I think of these videos.
Okay.
Like all the Van Halen videos, like Panama Jump,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Of course.
I couldn't see these videos enough, is why I'm bringing them up.
Right.
Like, haven't you seen this already? Yeah, and what's your point? Right? Again, because I haven't seen a lot of these bands live yet. So whether it's a concert setting or in a video, I don't care. There's Klaus Meine singing. Great.
Right. And you're in a small town in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
You're never going to get to see most of these guys unless you have some money.
And your favorite, Twisted Sister, of course, that made them. Billy Idol. I mean, I could not get enough of his videos.
Yeah.
Like Rebel Yell. Holy fuck. That was just a mind blower. And ZZ Top, all their stuff. Now, I don't like Quiet Riot, but Come On Feel the Noise was everywhere. And just the fact that a hard rock band was making those kind of inroads was cool. I mean, I never really dug the band. I couldn't get past Kevin DeBro.
Stop. Just stop.
But when you're into that kind of music, they opened a lot of doors for other bands to go through. So that's good.
I saw it, when I sporadically, and when he's screaming mental health will drive you mad, and I'm just going, you're driving me mad. And it turned me so far away because it was, like you said, high rotation.
Yeah, but it's one band.
And that kind of thing.
It's one band.
It just turned me off so quickly. Like, I could see why I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, I didn't really dig them either, but they were the first #1 metal album of all time. So you got to give them that. Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
And Motley, of course, Home Sweet Home and all that stuff.
Sure.
Priest, you got another thing coming. And Rat, another staple. And Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills. That was in pretty heavy rotation, and Trooper. But the one video that makes me laugh every time, not because of the actual video, but the content, is Dire Straits' Money for Nothing, like you were singing earlier. Yeah. They're mocking the bands that are on MTV and MTV. They're mocking them in the song, in the video, and it was in high rotation. This just makes me howl.
Give me some lyrics.
See the little faggot with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. That little faggot's got his own jet airplane. That little faggot, he's a millionaire. Money for nothing and chicks for free. They're singing about Motley Crue, basically. And, of course, they're beeping out faggot. Imagine Dire Straits, like they're not even heavy, but you could never play that today. The fucking woke people would lose their shit. But that was a huge video, and they're mocking the very thing they're on.
Interesting. Because
that's exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because Mark Knopfler is not your token MTV star.
Because
he wore a sweatband, and that was it.
Sure.
But my point is, they played it. MTV didn't care either.
But they shouldn't, because their whole attitude before that was, fuck, it's about the kids and what they fucking want. Right. And that's it. And if they like this fucking song, we're playing it. That's
and the word faggot over and over again made me laugh, because again, we've regressed.
Right.
There's no way you can say that in a joking way like that.
But they beeped it out, you said.
Yeah, they would just, it wouldn't be a beep, it would just be silent there. Even on the radio.
Right. And you get
But everybody, that album sold a gazillion copies.
Sure,
so
it did.
Everybody's hearing the real lyric.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
for sure. And there were some really exceptional creative filming talents that were developing based on that genre. Yeah.
Like a lot of big time directors started that way.
Sure. Because it was an easy format that you could do relatively inexpensively, but show your creative chops. Like, it really was a really cool format to tell a story in 3 minutes.
I was just going to say, and you got to hit them hard, impact a viewer in 3 minutes, or give or take.
Yeah.
Like, that takes some skill. And if you had some bunch of money at your disposal.
Yeah, or you have
a lot of these guys
have the police do a video in a dressing room.
Their videos were pretty low budge. Right. Even when they were making money, they staying knocking down candles. What could have that?
Yeah, exactly.
That could have cost
but
anything.
he rightfully admits it. It's like so great. It was just like you wanted to see the guys.
Here's an idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And Duran Duran is another big one. I know you're not a fan, but I do like some of their stuff. Their videos, man.
Wow.
They weren't as painful as Culture Club and some of that stuff for me. I didn't mind them. But man, they really pioneered that mini film thing. And I'm not even talking about the doc yet. The doc, I loved it. It wasn't near long enough. For me, this could have been a fucking 5-parter, because they just skimmed over some things. Like, I want them to get into it. Like, they just mentioned Headbangers Ball, and they just mentioned 120 Minutes, and MTV Raps got a little mention. Well, fuck, you could dive down that rabbit hole Big time. MTV, it was so massive in every way. The way people dressed, what they listened to. This deserved way more than 90 minutes in my mind. I just love the nostalgia. Like I'm watching it with Andrea and we're both like, is this almost over? Because I don't want it to be.
Right.
It triggers everything. It triggers what you were doing at that time and how much fun you were having. And, oh, I remember that video. Oh, I remember that video. It's just a fucking blast to watch a show like this.
As I mentioned off the top, it's like it brought me there immediately as I'm watching the people.
Oh, yeah.
And what they're wearing. And I'm like, fantastic. You know, and I remember there was a series called This is the 80s, this is the 70s, this is the 90s.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
And those are fun.
That was well done.
Right? And
Yep.
you look, I mean, I enjoy that.
Yeah,
I
me
enjoy
too.
a little trip down memory lane. But this one was mainly around music, and so
Yeah.
even more powerful.
Yes.
And definitely why you'd want to watch this. It's about the power of music and how it changed a whole concept.
Yeah.
And won over Midwestern Wisconsin and won over, it
Well,
doesn't
kids
matter.
are kids,
the
aren't they?
kids are kids and
Yeah.
fucking rights and let them be
Yeah.
them, right? It's fucking wicked. I
Yeah.
loved it, man. I did.
Because, man, even before video, like I said earlier, Kiss, they're not visual. Pink Floyd's not visual.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything's visual, but there's a lot of negativity to MTV because it became all about that. But I disagree. I think it was 50-50 visual and the song has to be good. You can't have a piece of shit song and a wicked video. That's never going to fly.
The problem I have with it now is that I wish MTV would have just stayed MTV.
Well,
Right?
imagine telling a teenager right now that, well, to see your favorite artist, their video, you have to wait at all
Yeah.
to see it.
Right.
This is not happening. Like I remember, the new Van Halen video. It's going to premiere Friday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Wicked.
The VJ came on and go, breaking news, breaking
Right.
news.
Where was I? Friday at 7 o'clock in front of the fucking TV.
Yeah.
You tell a kid that today?
Yeah.
I just want to watch. I want to watch it right fucking now.
Yeah, right.
This
And
is
they
a-
want to deliver it to you right now
This is a
because they
different
want you to
world.
watch it. Exactly.
Totally.
You know what was interesting about this too was right off the hop on this doc, that one guy said he was sitting there at a mixing console, which is cool. And he's saying that he doesn't believe for a second that the channel was started to make money. The intent was that somebody just loved music and thought, fuck, this would be a cool thing to do, not thinking it's going to blow
I
up or
believe
change
that.
the paradigm. This is what the guy's saying.
Yeah.
This is not going to reinvent the world. This was just somebody thinking, I really like
Yes.
music and I want people to experience it
Yeah.
this way. And I thought that was really to the point, and I could tell that it was really just about having fun, giving music to people in a different way.
Absolutely. Well, they had no fucking idea it was going to become what it became. There's no way.
No, those record executives or the executives at these companies, these television production
Yeah.
companies, we're not going, okay, this is going to work. You know what I mean? It took somebody with an idea that was heartfelt, and it changed things completely.
Well, it takes
dramatically.
money, and you got to get it out of those guys, right?
Sure you do.
Or you're going nowhere.
But it came from such an honest place, and I thought that was a great way.
I agree. It's super grassroots, right? What else do I want to say? Oh, to touch on the racism part.
Right.
Like Rick James has always been pissed off. Like even when Michael Jackson broke down that barrier, the race barrier on MTV, they could not deny Michael Jackson. I mean, they played his videos and fucking off it went. But Rick James still didn't get played. Like Super Freak, they're not naked chicks, but it's half naked. But what's the difference between that, the Rick James video, and a Motley Crue video with half naked chicks in it? Nothing.
Totally.
If Rick was white, this is not a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the truth and validity to that argument is definitely there.
Oh, absolutely there. But then their defense, they fall back on what's rock and roll. Well, that's funk or that's R&B and that's not rock and roll. That's kind of like our argument with the Hall of Fame sometimes. So I can wrap my head around it a little bit. But to your point, if you're playing this, then you got to play this.
The Eurythmics weren't rock and roll or Culture Club.
Right.
I don't call that rock and roll. I call that pop music
Right.
and with whatever you want to call it.
Again, who's the gatekeeper and who's making that call? That's always the problem, right? Who's censoring what? They came around.
Yeah, well, to your comment about David Bowie, I think that was an important thing to
He got him.
showcase. And I'm glad they did in the video.
That was a gotcha moment.
Yes. Hand in the cookie jar big time.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally, dude.
Yeah.
Again, we have the benefit of hindsight. I always keep that in mind, right? Because rock radio was no different than MTV either. Rick James isn't getting played on the rock station. So that was it was across the fucking board, that shit, right?
Right.
Yeah, I want to mention the specialty programs like Headbangers Ball.
Right.
Much Music had the Power Hour. I was glued to. Videos got so big, they had to specialize, and I love that. So now I don't have to put up with Culture Club. I can go right to the fucking Power Hour.
Right. Record it
and live
on
there.
your Betamax.
I can live there. Yeah, on my Betamax. Was it top loader or front loader?
Yeah.
I think it was a front loader, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that. I was just thinking of that while I'm watching it, right? I also want to mention, again, back to it being longer, it was cool to get the behind the scenes thing perspective. Because like you said, I didn't know a lot of these people. The VJs I knew, but the behind the scenes people I didn't. It would be cool, because it was so massive, to get more fan perspective, like what we're doing right now.
Right.
It could have been an hour just on the fans. Like, I think something this massive deserved more than 90, but hey. But I'm going to end with this. Do you remember watching the ZZ Top documentary?
Yeah, that was not that long ago.
And they were asking Billy Gibbons about the first time he saw MTV.
Right.
And his quote was, "How long is this show going to be on?" Like, he didn't realize it was 24/7.
Right.
This is like a special.
Yeah,
like a video special.
Let's use our video once, be done with it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Oh, no.
I'm going to spin these guitars a couple times and we're out of here.
Oh, how cool was that?
I know.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. To sum up, I loved it. I just wanted it to be another 5 hours long. Because the impact it had on me was, I can't even describe how big it was. It was just massive. Because again, at that point, I hadn't been to that many concerts. I was starting to go to more. Even so, I could not get enough of seeing the bands I loved on television. I couldn't get enough of it.
Well, you're not alone. A
No.
lot of kids were like that.
Dude.
And then there was some like me that,
Are playing music.
That we just.
I was watching other people. You're doing it. That's
and that we coexist just fine.
We coexist.
We need you. We need you people.
Yes, and I need you. Yeah.
I did enjoy watching it. Even though I wasn't part of that world, it brought me back to that time, and I enjoyed
Sure.
it.
And even though you weren't technically part of that world, it was unavoidable on some level. Music videos, I'm speaking of, not just MTV. You can't avoid it. It was just everywhere you looked.
Yeah.
Leave them wanting more? Well, you did.
It was great for me.
Yeah, for you, it's perfect.
It was perfect.
You're not itching for the 10 hour.
But I could see how it could, because it was impactful.
When Headbangers Ball got a mention,
you were happy.
No, unhappy, because that's all they got.
Oh, you were happy. You weren't happy that they
This
didn't
is
have
where
more
every heavy metal fan was glued every Saturday night or whatever it was. Like Dee Snider hosted it first, and then Adam Curry and then Ricky Rackman. And they had everybody on there. But it went into the 90s, a couple of years.
Right.
Like, it was huge.
Right.
Like, it was massive.
It's a great name.
And they get a mention.
Too. Yeah.
Okay, man. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it for what it was. Yeah.
Hopefully, A&E's still playing it. I don't know where. It'll pop up on Netflix, maybe. Who knows? But if you didn't get a chance to see it, seek it out somehow, some way. Okay, keeping in that 80s theme.
Okay.
The latest addition to my concert Blu-ray collection is this bad boy. INXS Live Baby Live. It's an old concert, obviously, because Michael's been deceased for quite some time. It was shot at Wembley Stadium in 1991. 74,000 people there. Shot on 35 millimeter film. This is the key. Because most of this stuff that's shot, late 80s, early 90s is shot on video because it's cheaper. It's going to be 4x3 and it'll look kind of
Yeah.
This is shot on film, so it looks fantastic. It took them a year to restore this fucking thing. Every shot from the original 35 mil, they cropped it properly, tweaked the color. It looks killer. And in your world, the sound. So you get DTS 5.1 and you get Dolby Atmos if you have that capability.
Right.
And you can get 4K. Like, it's full on if you want it full on.
Well,
yeah.
To that point about the quality, I watched some footage. I haven't seen the whole concert. I've just watched a video on YouTube where they talk about the process of restoration and the audio.
That's cool, eh?
And that is cool in itself. Now, I was not a big INXS guy. I really wasn't. I thought Michael Hutchence was kind of fascinating.
Right.
As a kind of like in a Prince way, where he was this, relatively attractive man that had charisma up the fucking yin yang.
He did.
And a vibe to him that was probably intoxicating, to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the musically, I just wasn't in. So I would have never have watched this until you said we're going to talk about it.
Right.
But I was super impressed with the technology on what they put into this.
Looks great, hey?
Yeah. But I love that, and I love watching that, and I'd probably want to watch the concert because, man, it's the way that it looks puts you right there and feels pretty great.
It really does, man. Yeah, I got into them. God, they were 5 albums in before I got into them. Because they had a lot of albums before they kind of broke through with Listen Like Thieves, that album, which was like 85.
Was that like Suicide Blonde thing?
No, way before that. What You Need.
Ah.
You know that song?
I've heard
Give it what you need, give it what you need. Saw the video for that song. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
Because, sure, it's poppier than most of the stuff I'm listening to, but it had enough of a rock thing going on and catchy as fuck. I was all over it, yeah. Because I need a break from, the hard rock thing. And they kind of bridged that. They were kind of right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Poppy, but rock enough guitar in there for me to dig it, right?
See, I heard them in a club because I was out looking for a girl or whatever you're doing as a young man. And it's like, that's the only experience. But, you'd hear it at every club.
Right, sure.
Known to man. That with Moni, you get that.
Oh, my God.
You get that stuff going on.
Don't lump it in with that.
I did. But I'm just saying that was my experience with INXS. But they were huge. Massive.
Well, they were different because they were they had a little funk in there. They had the sax in there, like that sax solo on, what's their big ballad there?
Never Tear Us Apart.
Never Tear Us Apart. That sax solo just comes from out of nowhere and it's just cool as hell.
Yeah.
And that ballad is there's great songs. Like them or not, they wrote some great songs. Like when Kick came out, was at 87, that album was fucking huge. I think it had 6 or 7 top 10 singles on it.
Yeah.
Like it was just massive and it was everywhere.
See, this is me, 87. Guess how old I am?
Right.
18.
Right.
In the bars. That's where I'm hearing these guys. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, they were played in the bar.
Oh, that's exactly it, right?
But again, that was okay. I'd rather hear that than Culture Club or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It's great you mentioned the saxophone because I think you and I had a chat about this, maybe not on a podcast, but maybe just in conversation. But there's very few times after St. Elmo's Fire that I wanted to hear saxophone, right?
You were digging Rob Lowe?
Right. Like, I mean, it became one of those 80s instruments you just didn't want to fucking hear again, right? But there's a couple of artists that have worked it. Springsteen and Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, yeah.
And to your point, even though I'd have to go listen to it because, again, I don't know their catalog that well, but sometimes the sax really works if it's surrounded by the right thing.
Yep.
Not Lost Boys, not St. Elmo's Fire, but we're talking
not Lost Boys.
Remember that? I still believe. The musclehead from like Kane Roberts on the saxophone.
He played for Tina Turner.
Yeah, exactly. That dude.
Right.
The weightlifter. Yeah.
It can be done in the rock world, yeah. You know what's interesting about them too? There's 3 brothers in the band. The Ferris Brothers. Tim Ferris on lead guitar, Andrew Ferris on keyboards and guitar and piano and harmonica and percussion, John Ferris on drums. And then he had Gary Beers on bass, and the sax guy is Kirk Pengilly, playing sax, rhythm guitar. Like they all played a lot of instruments depending on the song, right? And like you said, Hutchins, he had a bit of a Morrison quality to him. Like
That's a great connection.
He's very compelling to watch. Well, he didn't just stand there like Jim
He's
did.
intoxicating, man.
Dude, those 74,000 people, they're there to see him.
Totally.
And hear those songs. Because the other guys, they basically just stand there and play.
That really came to light for me because, again, I didn't know much about INXS. But I got to know them a little more when Rockstar happened. INXS Rockstar.
Right.
Where the backing band was the coolest fucking band I've ever seen. Like not ever seen.
They were good.
They were. That's what made the show watchable for me. And so when they were recreating tracks for a different singer, because they were all doing popular songs in a unique way, generally. Sometimes kind of true to the core, but generally this band gave it a different vibe.
Yeah.
I thought that they did a wonderful job of doing that on that show.
And they like I said, they don't sound like anybody else. They have their own distinct sound.
It was captivating
Yeah.
TV for me.
That band, the Rockstar Band, was Paul Stanley's band on the Live to Win tour, solo tour. He just
Is that right?
He just plucked those guys, and they were his band for this tour. Yeah.
Wow, they were great.
You know who sang for them? Was Terrence Trent D'Arby before that show. Who I
can
love,
see that.
Who I
Yeah.
love. It was a weird fit for me. I'm like, really?
What was his big hit?
Well, this biggest one was right out of the gate, Wishing Well. Probably.
Wishing Well, that's it. Yeah.
I like him a lot. And he got better in my mind as he went. And now he lives in Spain or something under a different name. Sandrea Matea or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, he was
Eclectic.
a little too cocky out of the gate. But
Rare.
Symphony or Down is a wicked album. Like, I like him a lot.
Did he play an instrument?
Oh, yes. Piano, guitar. He's kind of like Prince.
Okay. I remember seeing a video, and I just thought in my mind, I'm going, this guy just danced around and sang.
No.
Okay.
No, he's got it going on. He's kind of like Prince, plays all the instruments and
Yeah, cool.
arranges everything. No, yeah, he's got it going on. Okay, yeah, so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're into INXS, it's a no fucking brainer. It's wicked. The next thing I want to talk about is this book I recently read. It's about Ted Templeman,
Right.
producer extraordinaire. It's called A Platinum Producer's Life in Music. I'll give you a little synopsis quickly. It's an autobiography recounting his incredible life from a child in the 50s to Grammy-winning producer during the 70s and 80s. Takes us into the studio sessions of number one hits like Black Water by the Doobies, by the Doobie Brothers, and Jump by Van Halen. He worked with a lot of people, but those were his two big bands. He recounts memories and behind-the-scenes drama that engulfed these massively successful acts. He also reveals the inner workings of his profession and personal relationships with some of the most talented and successful recording artists in history. So, like I said, Doobies and Van Halen were the biggies, but he worked with Aerosmith, Steve Stevens, Eric Clapton, Montrose, Sammy Hagar, Little Feat, Joan Jett, Linda Ronstadt, Van Morrison, Carly Simon. Like, this guy's getting it done. But his big numbers were with the Doobies and Van Halen. He produced Van Halen 1 right up to and including 1984, all 6 of those.
Right.
He's all over those, right? Him and Don Landy, the engineer, they did them all.
It
And-
helps when a producer's connected to a good engineer. They get some good shit done.
Oh, and he gives this guy a ton of credit.
Right.
So what happened, you mentioned that, after 1984, there was a bit of a falling out. What happened was, and I didn't know this, everybody thought, oh, he's siding with David Lee Roth because he went on to produce
Eat 'em and smile.
the EP,
Yeah.
Crazy from the Heat,
Right.
Just a Gigolo and all that,
Oh, yeah.
and Eat 'em and Smile, right? Those two. But that's not the case. Yes, he did do that, but they were tired of waiting around for the Van Halen brothers to do a new album. So they thought, oh, let's just do this.
Right.
Like, it wasn't, I'm leaving the band.
Right.
Like, Dave just thought, well, I want to do some shit.
Right.
So I'm going to do this.
I could see that in Dave because Dave is like fucking, he's got to be doing something with his hands or his feet or his head.
He's got to be moving.
Yeah, he's got to be moving.
So in hindsight, that did cause a rift, but Ted's like, fuck, I had no idea that I was causing that rift. Like,
Right.
he just thought he was, in the meantime,
Yeah,
while you're waiting
let's
for
go do
Eddie to
something.
write some new riffs,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing, too, is the Doobie Brothers. He was there for that transition from Tommy Johnston to Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald, yeah.
And at that point, Michael McDonald was nobody.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, oh, here, I got a song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any good. It's called Taking It to the Streets.
Right.
Maybe could we try that?
Yeah.
Well, number one hit or whatever, right?
Right.
But Tommy Johnson was sick. It's not like he quit or got fired or whatever. But they became a different band, just like Van Halen became a different band with Sammy. It was
And
the same thing.
it's weird because his connection with Sammy and Montrose
Yes.
is got a similar parallel. You know, it's like
Yep.
I'm connected with this, but we become this later.
You know what's funny about that? When Ted first saw Van Halen live in some little club, Starwood or whatever it was, he was like, holy fuck, this guitar player's unreal. The singer I'm not crazy about. That's what his first reaction, right?
Right.
And he said to those guys, you know, you should think about getting Sammy Hagar to be your singer. This is before the first album.
I
came out.
heard this or read this somewhere.
like-
Yeah.
Whoa, because it does a complete 360 because he gets to know Dave, and what's brilliant about him, he calls him a genius with lyrics and melody.
Yeah.
And then when they decided to get Sammy in the band in 86 for 5150, Ted said, I won't do it unless Dave's there.
Right.
So
Well, And I
That
get
is
it.
a weird, that's a full, because he appreciated Dave.
Right, after the fact.
After the fact.
Right. But I like the fact that he did that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that he said, well, he had nothing to prove. I mean, obviously, by this point.
No.
Fuck,
The phone's ringing.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry. But it's like, you know, integrity and relationships and this, even though he had a great relationship with the Sammy, you know.
Yes.
Sure he did. That's not disputed as far as I know. But it was like, yeah, I can't, you know, and I'm not gonna.
And there was no
simple.
ill will there either.
No.
Like Eddie would call him up every once in a while. Hey, you want to have a listen to this?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no bad blood there at all. You know,
That's cool. That's a great way to be, you know. So it goes down to this guy's character, right?
he comes off really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another interesting nugget is Eddie's playing basically what became Eruption, just in the studio fucking around. He's just going, and Ted's like, hey, what the fuck is that? He's like, oh, it's just something I do to warm up. Like Eddie had no clue. Yeah. He goes, oh, we got to record that. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So that was all Ted.
Right.
That could have not happened.
Right.
It was Eddie's fucking warm-up exercise. And it's iconic now. Like, it's cool little nuggets like that are in this book that are just fantastic.
And that's what's so cool about Eddie, who was my number one pick in the last show, just so everybody's clear.
Number 2.
Yeah. And he does it so effortlessly. And that band, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that it would have been awesome to be Ted Templeman. Right? Hearing this guy all the time, just doing that all the fucking time, because that's what he was doing at that age.
Take a shot how many takes Eruption took.
I'm thinking 7.
2?
Okay.
2 takes.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. But that's the kind of caliber he's around, and it's pretty inspiring. And that's to be a fly on the wall in those sessions would have been just fucking fantastic.
Oh my God, yes. Another little nugget is to bring the Doobies and Van Halen together is Michael McDonald helped write I'll Wait off 84.
Okay.
Dave was having trouble with the melody on that one. He just couldn't get a handle on it. So Ted's like, well, let's bring Michael in. He's really good at that shit, right? So they bring him in. So he co-writes the song, kind of like the Ozzy thing. No credit on the album, and he fucking freaked. He was not happy.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
get
why
that.
nobody knew.
I don't get that, man. I don't get why you wouldn't. Like, I'm just, I don't hang around people that would ever do that. You know, it's fucked.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. One other Van Halen nugget that I want to talk about is he said when Eddie built 5150 in his backyard, that was not good.
Ted said that.
Yeah. Because there's no structure.
Right.
It's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's as long as you want. It's too much freedom. Like an artist, he goes, it just took forever to do anything. If you're in a regular recording studio, $1,000 an hour or whatever, you're getting shit done.
Things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing fast. And when you can put a studio in your house and you can do these kind of things and you want to be creative on a level that we wished Eddie would have continued to do.
Yeah.
Would have been great.
Well, there's pros and cons.
There is. And so that's why you can't be too hard on it. You know what I mean? It's like
he came from that other world.
He did.
Where he's working.
Totally.
He needs to come in on time and on budget. Like the first Van Halen album took 2 weeks?
See, money. And I think that's why I like both. Right?
And you can overthink shit.
Right. There's a freshness to it and move on. And I think a lot of musicians love that.
Yeah.
But there's also some creative shit that happened where, somebody had time to be in a studio. Like Pink Floyd would have been in the studio for months.
But there was other things going on. There's too much drinking, too much drugs.
Right. It's 80s. Let's carry on with the theme.
But when it's your own studio, I mean, the fucking leash is off, right? So he found he would show up and nothing would get done. And he's like, I got shit to do kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I know, for sure. And 80s was excess, man.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I just finally read Ace Frehley's book, No Regrets, and he was talking about,
Speaking of excess.
The 80s and Kiss, and it was pretty funny.
No regrets?
No Rugrats.
No regrets. Remember that?
I love that show.
Not one, eh? Not a one. Not one regret.
Yeah. Fuck. I might have to watch that again. What was that? That was Meet the Millers.
Meet them. Very good.
Yeah.
Meet the Millers.
Watch it. It's great.
And you can see Jennifer do a striptease. I mean, come on.
Okay. Down, boy. Down.
That's all I have to say about Ted.
Okay. I want to talk about Doobie Brothers because There's a great song. You probably heard it. It's called Long Train.
Sure. Yeah.
Long Train Running.
Yeah.
Now, this is Doobie Brothers in 1973.
Yep.
Okay, so this is, I don't know if this is their third record or something. Ted been involved with all of them from 70 on.
You bet.
Okay. There was a pressure on the band to move quickly and to save time in the studio, to your point.
It's all about time. Yeah.
They began reworking old tunes for this record.
Right.
Captain and Me. There's a few tracks on here you'd know, like China Grove.
Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, I know it well. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so one of Tom Johnson's songs, he's a singer, obviously.
Yeah, he's the leader.
They had a track called Osborne that it would be an improvisational piece that the
Right.
band played live. Okay, so they just fucking jam on this thing.
Right.
This is Long Train Running.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great song.
After laying down the track, according to Templeman, we still really didn't have it because they didn't know what it was about. It was called Osborne. And he says, make it about a train. This is Templeman.
Yeah.
Since you've been singing this thing about Miss Lucy down along the track, right? And there's a fantastic video on YouTube with an engineer named Daniel Duskin
Okay.
mixing the track now. Like he got some tape somehow, and he's got this SSL console, and you could see the scribble strip on the front. You could see each instrument. He's wearing a GoPro on his head.
Okay.
So you see his hands, you see the scribble strip, and you see which tracks are what. From the congas to the drums,
Okay,
to
sure.
the acoustic guitars, to the organ, to the harmonica, to all of it, vocals, BG vocals, it's all laid out, right? So he's doing a remix or just a proper mix and showing you what he does
Right.
that's involved in this song.
Right.
Because the Doobies were so creative.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating watch, man. It's 15 minutes, and in the top left corner of the screen, he's writing down what he's doing, whether he's lifting,
Okay.
he's running it through reverb, or he's adjusting EQ. He's telling you what he's doing. And you get to hear this track stripped down. You hear the congas, you hear the acoustic, you hear the musicianship that this guy's been surrounded with, because those players were fucking awesome.
Oh,
too.
dude. Yeah.
So this guy,
Yeah.
and in the studio, he's part of that collaboration. So I urge everybody to maybe check out this book, obviously.
Oh, it's really
because
good.
It's really great.
You get a peek behind the curtain, right? It's
Right.
awesome.
And this
Yeah.
is another peek on my side of things of an engineer's level where, you get to watch and hear this music,
Yeah.
how it was created in the studio and remixed. And it's just a fun little watch. It's
Yeah.
very fantastic. And
I haven't seen that. I'm going to check that out.
yeah, so we'll put a link on this there
Yeah,
too. But
for
it was,
sure.
it was very, very cool. Yeah. I enjoyed
And I
it a
forgot to
lot.
mention Greg Renoff, who wrote the book with Ted, and he also did this one, Van Halen Rising, How a Southern California Backyard Party Band Saved Heavy Metal. He wrote this one. If you're into Van Halen, which I know you are, have
Yeah.
you read this?
No.
You're going to want to read this.
Well, I'll take that right
dude,
here.
The minutia
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Sweet.
It's incredible, man. Like
Fantastic.
the research this guy did. Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, last but not least, on the 80s theme,
Yeah.
I just got this yesterday.
Well, you brought presents.
The latest addition to my coffee table book collection.
Oh boy, this is right up your alley, eh?
Dude.
With GNR on the front.
Dude. So this is there's some text, but it's basically photos by Mark Weiss. So when you're looking at Circus, there's
I know the name. We
Slazauer,
saw his name. Yeah,
Lynn
million
Goldsmith,
times.
all these guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Wise Guy Weiss, forward by Rob Halford, afterward by Eddie Trunk. Yeah. I mean, it weighs like fucking 10 pounds. Look at the back. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like this guy got access on stage, off stage, photo shoots, you
Yeah.
name it. So it's broken. It's 80.
Fuck, Beau's
81.
going on to Amazon.
It's not cheap. I think it was about 70.
I've been there. Yeah, it's okay.
I'll just do this.
Okay.
Flip. Oh, you got Ozzy ironing a baby. Okay. Like the photos
classic.
are unreal.
Is it only Weiss's stuff in here?
Yep.
Okay. Fuck, he's got to have like a fucking factory
Tyler in his fucking jumpsuit.
of negatives, man.
Oh, and I don't know how he would pick, but I mean, everywhere you point in this thing, look at that.
Yeah.
And the odd flip out. I don't know, fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wall to wall. I can hardly fucking lift it. It's so heavy. But yeah.
They use like 180-pound, instead of gram vinyl, they're using 180-pound paper.
To use a 80s term, it's fucking bitchin'.
Sweet. Rad. Rad, dude.
I just got it, and it's fucking wicked. So I highly recommend that if you're into coffee table books and awesome photos. All the boys are in there. It goes chronologically. 80, 81, 82, 83, all through the 80s. It's wicked.
Wicked.
Just
no, you got me. You got me at
I keep telling you, the 80s fucking ruled, and they did. You just had to avoid the shit like every other decade. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy, that's it.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Man.
Keep the comments coming. Love it. If you've watched this doc, let us know what you thought about it, or let us know what you think about music videos in general. Did you like them? Did you not like them?
Yeah, check out the links because they're going to be posting a few on
Absolutely.
this one, and they're really informative and fun, and enjoy the MTV doc for what it is. If you were into the videos or you weren't, it was a slice of time that was pretty impressionable on everybody. So
absolutely,
sweet, man.
Okay, buddy, we're too far away now. We'll just go. Ching.
Rock on, kids. Cheers. Rock on.
Peace out.